up, guys? Time to show off a Kraken 2.0 build. I haven't done any 2.0s for a while. I only had a few of the dials. Need to actually make more. And I thought this would be a perfect time to do that because it's more of a bead blasted, and I happen to have a bead blasted case. So I thought those would work perfect together. So, bead blasted Kraken. I actually built 3 Krakens. But I'm only going to show off one of them. We'll get to the other ones here a little bit later on. But this is the one that I wanted to put out next. So, bead blasted Kraken 2.0 dial. So these are lasered out, backside lumed. Before backside lumed, I'm obviously bead blasted, and you can kind of see a little bit of reflection you kind of get off of it, where it kind of looks slightly rough. In matching bezel insert, so Kraken at the top, it goes all the way around. That's in a polished case. That helps give the nice transition for a nice little pop here. A Troika style handset with a white second hand bead blasted and engraved Kraken crown, as well as a bead blasted and Kraken fully engraved caseback. Just did a standard brushed, did not bead blast these. Whenever you get that bead blasting into your threads, it can be a little rough. So just kept that as a stock brushed caseback ring. Then I put this on a brushed engineered band. You got your bead blasted Kraken double lock clasp on it. And that is the build. Bezel on it will turn left, it'll turn right. These are just tension ring bezels, so they'll go either direction. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, wear it, put it in, and watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind. And a wind is a turn this way. Now this is a bead blasted 710 case, and if you'll notice with the 710, the crown once threaded on is slightly under there, so you are dealing with something a little bit closer than normal. But so what they've done is they step these bezels out to, like, so in case people want to use one on a 710. I don't use 710s very often because they have slightly shorter stem length. The case size overall is the same size, but they kind of bring them in a little bit right there on the sides. So when people make aftermarket bezels, they'll do this step over so you can still use it, but it kind of puts it up under there just a hair. So you can see that. So when you get it, it's not too difficult to work with. Once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, that's not too terrible. So anyway, a wind is a turn this way. Turning it back towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you'll keep time throughout the day. And if you do it for something closer to 15, 20 seconds, you're going to max out that 31-hour power reserve in there. What you can't see under here, you've got a little signed rotor in there, and this one probably, I can't recall, should have a steel movement holder. Sometimes if they've got like a cool white one or black one, I leave them, but I'm pretty sure this one has a steel one, though we can't see. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click. So what I was trying to get at is your rotor in there, that mixed with your winding will keep time throughout the day for you. You just can't see your rotor. When you pull it out, you can now set your time. Not a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You also notice you got a wobble crown. That deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressure on anything. And then while we have it set like that, I can at least show off a little bit of loom for you. So everything lasered out around there. It's got a lume wheel on the back side of it. Makes it a little bit thicker, so I got to tear down the movement just a little bit because the dial is a bit thicker than what we normally work with. And it can impact where you're placing your hands. So we have to tear down the movement just a little bit so that the hands still sit nicely and have clearance. It's normally the hour hand, never the minute or the second. It's the hour hand that needs clearance. Anyway, set your time. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 1:08 p.m.
1:08 p.m. Just right there. When you're good, push it over, get it out of that time setting. And wind. Oh, I didn't get it out of the time setting. I thought something felt weird right there. 1:08. Push it over. Get it out of the time setting. Which that was kind of blocking me a little bit. So I normally, if you've seen me on the other ones, I kind of like tap it or kind of smack it over just to make sure you get it out of there. If you kind of go slow and you start threading it back on, you know, you might think you're closer because you're up against this, but just tap it over. And there is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. We actually had some that had kind of a matte look to them. So some polished matte, some kind of marbleized version. The wife does a good job matching stuff up like that. This will come in a silver Kraken box. It will come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. This watch as a whole, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. You'll also have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like poly watch. It's for your acrylic glass. If you scratch it, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and then buff it out using your included microfiber. So if it's scratch up and down, haze it going left and right, filling it, polish it off. If that doesn't work, wait a little bit, let it solidify and do it again, and you should be good to go. Now if you scratch the bead blasting, it will actually give it a polished look. So it will just tie itself right back in. So you know, if you get something on here, just take a little bit of sandpaper and do it again on this one, and do it a little bit on that one. You know, just kind of bring it right back in. So pretty cool feature of that, which is why I went with something brushed, because if you did scratch it, this will go in even better. So that polished kind of goes with your hands, and then that this being brushed goes with the caseback being brushed. So lots of cool little elements kind of tied in each other on that. But I hope you like it. So Kraken 2.0, I think I've only done, I have to probably go through my videos, which I didn't do ahead of time, but maybe 3. I think I've done 3. I have one for myself, so maybe 4. So not very many. It was a new design. Did a few of them. Actually, I did some in the beginning, and then it was a long time, and I did some again. So it might be double those numbers I'm saying. But in the grand scheme of like 208, 9, 10 Krakens, there have been less than 10 of these. So just a cool new design. So if it's going to you, thank you so much for your support. I hope you love it. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.